Shout out to all my real boxing fans out there. Y'all remember this shit, right? I know y'all do. This is a clip from 1992 when then world heavyweight champion Riddick Bowe literally threw his WBC heavyweight title in the garbage in order to avoid his mandatory Lennox Lewis. This was probably the biggest bitch made ass move ever done by any professional fighter in the history of professional fighting. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker went on live television and threw the WBC strap away in the trash so he wouldn't have to fight Lennox Lewis. Somebody who spanked his fucking ass in the Olympics en route to winning a gold medal. Why do I have this clip up here? Because what's the difference between what Riddick Bowe is doing, or did anyway, and what Carl Froch is currently fucking doing, right? There is no difference. Just, just subtract the theatrics. That's it, right? And the fact that the WBC, or the title that Carl Froch vacated is the IBF title as opposed to the WBC title, right? And they're different weight classes. That's the only fucking difference. But in reality, Carl Froch is doing the same shit that Riddick Bowe did to Lennox Lewis. He's doing it to James DeGale. And ironically, it was a smart business move on his part because just like back then, if Lennox Lewis would have fought Riddick Bowe, he probably would have whooped his ass again. And in this situation, James DeGale will probably beat the shit out of Carl Froch. That's the ironic part, right? But see, that's not even the bitch part. I mean, that is a bitch move. But what makes him queen bitch right now is he's avoiding a 50-year-old fighter that has to move down in weight just to fight him. He won't even fucking fight him. So this is what I think about Carl Froch, man. And I actually seen the bitch in Carl Froch when Gennady Golovkin fought Daniel Gill, right? And he went on I was actually watching the fight on Sky Sports, and Carl Froch issued a statement shortly after that fight, basically saying that in a nutshell he wouldn't fight Gennady Golovkin, and pretty much everybody in that division needs to be trying to avoid him. That's what he said in a nutshell, right? To summarize his comment. So ever since then, I was like, yeah, this dude is a bitch. Even before that, right? In the Super 6 tournament, when he fought Andre Durrell clearly won that fight. Now, you could say it was by split decision. You could say it was by majority decision, whatever. But it was clear Andre Durrell did enough to win that fight. And Carl Froch says some bullshit like, yeah, the Mexican judge, he was the one that saw it, Durrell's way. And something was wrong with that judge. Dude, it was a close fight, man. A fight that I thought you clearly lost. It could have been a close fight anyway. You know what I'm saying? So even from all the way back to the Super 6 tournament, his personality became apparent to me. The type of bitch he is. You know what I'm saying? He issued this statement recently basically saying fighting Bernard Hopkins would be a lose-lose situation. Basically because it would damage his legacy if he loses. But what fucking legacy are you talking about, bruh? And let me let me slow down a little bit. Let me slow down a little bit, cause I don't want to piss the Brits off. I like the Brits. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are some of the best people out there. But let's be realistic, right? When you're talking about legacy, you're not trying to confine yourself to one portion of the world, right? When somebody talks about legacy and being the best, they're not saying, yeah, I want to be the best just in my area. They're saying they want to be the best in the world. They want to be the best motherfucker to ever do it. That should be everyone's goal, right? If not, then what you doing it for? You know what I'm saying? So if he's talking about legacy, then clearly, hopefully, he's saying, yeah, I want to be the best in the world. If I had Carl Froch sitting next to me and I said, when you say you want to define your legacy, or you want your legacy, to be solid, to be written, after you leave the sport, would you want it to say you were the best in the UK, or you were one of the best to ever do it? Hopefully he would pick the latter, right? So in that scenario, you gotta fight guys like Bernard Hopkins. You gotta beat the young guys like James DeGale, the fucking Olympic gold medalist, right? You gotta beat those guys. You gotta fight your mandatories, or at least if your mandatories pose a threat, you gotta fight those guys. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about Carl Froch, man, he knows that if that referee did not intervene in that first George Groves fight, he probably would have lost that fight. He knows it. Everyone knows it, right? Then in the second fight, George Groves looked good against him again. But he caught him against the ropes. He caught George Groves slipping, and that experience became a factor, and he hit him with the right combination of punches to get him out of there. Not hating on that whatsoever. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Congratulations, he won that fight fair and square. But my problem is this. He knew it was a close call both times. So now he's trying to ride out on a money fight. You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely no reason why you would duck a 50-year-old man, someone who's 13 years older than you, and who just took a major L in his last fight, and he hasn't moved down in weight. You know what I'm saying? This dude is queen bitch. This video and the video I'm about to do right after it, we're going to talk about bitches. And this is the first bitch. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny this shit. His actions are speaking a whole lot louder than his words. A whole lot louder. You know what I'm saying? The next thing he's talking about doing is fighting Chavez Jr. Now, we've known this since he beat George Groves the first time. He's been wanting to fight Chavez Jr. But see, my thing is this. Why are you trying to fight Chavez Jr.? He's a big name. He is. He's a big name because of what his father did, and for the sport of boxing. But he's not the kind of name that's gonna make you millions and millions of dollars, the type of money that you would be looking for, right? In my opinion, I don't think Chavez Jr. is that. If that was the case, Brian Vera would be, rolling around in Lamborghinis and shit. You know what I'm saying? And he's not, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of Brian Vera, that was Chavez Jr.'s last two fucking fights. A journeyman type fighter. A fucking C class fighter, Brian Vera. And arguably lost the first matchup. You know what I'm saying? Chavez Jr. has not fought since March of 2014. His next fight is against another C-class fighter, and Andres Fonfara, the guy that got dominated by fucking Adonis Stevenson, right? And that's in April of this year. So he's not fighting anybody right now. So why are you picking him? Just so you can have a name? Come on, man. Why the fuck are we allowing this shit to happen as fans? Why are we allowing this shit to happen? Bernard Hopkins, in reference to him choosing Chavez Jr. recently, just said Froch is looking for the easy way out. He said basically, I don't think anyone, including myself, is picking Chavez Jr. to beat Carl Froch. And it's just basically because of the inactivity, the shit that he's done outside the ring. Motherfucker balloons up to like 270 pounds. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but it's about right shit. You know what I'm saying? He don't train hard. He don't take shit seriously. This motherfucker getting weeded. This nigga be getting blunted and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right before fights. I mean, he's not taking shit seriously. So why the fuck are you pursuing a fighter that's not taking it seriously? A, because you know you can win. 2, because you think it's a big name, it's going to make your resume look good. And 3, for some reason you think it's going to define your so-called legacy. The legacy you have of being a good fighter in just the UK. Because I guarantee you, bro, you do not have a fan base in America. And it matters. You know what I'm saying? When you're defining your legacy, you're not trying to be the best in the UK only, or just the best in America only, or just the best in Cuba only, etc. You want to be the best in all regions. All regions recognize you as the best. or at least one of the best to ever do it. That's the kind of legacy all these fighters should be trying to look for, right? That's the problem with Joe Calzaghe. He spent majority of his fucking career, 90 fucking 95, 98% of his career overseas in the UK. And when he finally came out of hiding, decided to leave his home, he took a fight with Bernard Hopkins, a fight that he was hoping Bernard Hopkins was too old and washed up in. That's why he took so long to fight him. Mind you, Bernard had been calling out Calzaghe for a long ass time. A lot of fighters were calling out Calzaghe. Roy Jones was calling him out when he was younger. You know what I'm saying? Calzaghe was on the hit list for a long time, and he ignored these guys until he thought that these guys were washed up and old. Then he came out and fought them. And in my opinion, he lost to Bernard Hopkins. I had Bernard winning that fight by split decision. He clearly beat Roy Jones. But what happened in both those fights? Calzaghe got knocked down in the first round by two guys that he perceived to be washed up old fighters. And one guy really is, or was at that time, washed up and old. Roy Jones. He was washed up and old. And he still got knocked down in the first round. Granted, he got up and dominated the rest of the fight, but it didn't mean shit. And the boxing public, the hardcore boxing fans and the experts, we didn't give him credit for that shit. Because it didn't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't really give him credit for the Bernard Hopkins win. They do a little bit, but a lot of people, they were on the fence with that. A lot of people were saying Bernard really won. Some people were saying Calzaghe won. That's why they were talking about a rematch. What did Calzaghe do? Nope, nope, nope. Moving forward, I win. Like some little kid shit. I win. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, bruh. That's why, yes, you are in the Hall of Fame because you're an undefeated fighter. You were undefeated champion, fighting bums your whole career. But anyway, you were an undefeated fighter and undefeated champion. But you're not synonymous with the best. They put you in the Hall of Fame, but you're not synonymous with the best. And that's a fucked up position to be in. What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think about the Cobra? Fuck out of here. Carl Froch, you know what I'm saying? Ducking James DeGale. What do y'all think about this current bullshit going on with him ducking, Bernard Hopkins, a guy who's 13 years younger than him, a guy that just took a big loss against Sergey Kovalev in a division higher than him, a guy that would have to move down in weight, in a 50-year-old frame just to fight him, and he's avoiding him because he think it's a quote lose-lose situation, basically already conceding to the idea that he could probably lose this fight, which is another thing you shouldn't do if you're a real fighter. That means you're a real bitch, man. If you concede that you're gonna lose, that's what I call the Leo Santa Cruz syndrome. You already concede you're gonna lose when people are talking about matching you up with an opponent. Get the fuck out of here, man. You ain't no real motherfucking fighter. Let me know what y'all think in the comments section. But be real. This is real talk for real fans. One.